One.
And hello everyone. I'm just going to check, is this live a little bit more successful than our previous ones. Can you see has anyone joined?
One person so far.
Okay. I cannot see the live. Oh wait, I have to review. Yeah, I can see it. Hey, it's me. So there is a small delay, but I think everyone can see us, everyone can hear us. Welcome everyone to our special edition of our Facebook Live event. We've never held these before, so I'm just going to wait a little bit until more people join in. We also have a YouTube Live if you want to go there. There should be working. Oh, someone's asking. Yep, we are live and on our profile page. So some people are still joining in.
Hi, Jerry.
Jerry is joining in. Okay, yeah, there we go. People are coming in. So while we wait for more people to join, I will just make a small introduction as to what we have to announce today, and there are a lot of news. So once again, hello everyone and welcome, and thank you for joining in. It has been a crazy summer for us. We basically took no vacations, maybe a couple of days. There are a couple of reasons for that, mainly that we were moving offices currently. We have a temporary office where we are settling our production of with Heidelberg Cylinder that we bought, and there's also a lot of testing going on, and we have this kind of temporary small office, but it's shaping up nicely, and I'll tell you more about that topic later. So today we're going to run through a few things. First, we're going to get into some general news that we have. Then we have the big letterpress news, which has a couple of things that I'd like to talk about. Then we'll talk about the next editions, what we have in plan, what's our kind of a wish list, and of course there will be giveaways as we announced. And in the end, we'll hold a short Q&A. So if you have any questions, I hope you came prepared with questions. So before we dive in, can you guys hear me well? And I'll just slide to another page. See, I'm drinking.
Iced tea.
It's iced tea. It's rum, Diplomatica rum. I don't know. Does this make it an ad?
It's iced tea.
I'm a rum kind of guy, and this is like usually when we make Facebook Lives, any kind of presentation, we just pour ourselves a drink and cheer and then go and work. So I hope if anyone else is drinking something, cheers. So hello from Sweden, you can hear me, great. Hello everyone once again. And I think it's time that we dive into the news. So first of all, when we decided to buy the Heidelberg Cylinder press, which is we bought an SBG, which means it's a large format press, and we knew right then that we will need a bigger workspace because now a major part of the production will be happening in-house. So we were looking for a new space, and finally we have acquired it through a loan with a bank, and it's a gorgeous space, but it needs a lot of work before we can officially move in. but we were very eager to start testing the press, and we also have 2 new people coming in, so we needed a lot of space, and we rented a temporary workspace where we can put the machine and us. Machine, as you all know, is called Heidi. So there's a lot of work going there, and we're trying to like organize everything so it doesn't eat into the book production. But yeah, this space searching and whatnot was the main reason why letterpress was originally a bit delayed. But yeah, we're now jumped from 2 employees to 4. You probably all heard about Mia, who is in charge of operations and logistics, like making the production actually happen. Now we have 1 person, his name is Danko. He will come to work at the high level cylinder, so his whole job will be just the letterpress printing. And we have Sunčica coming in, which will take over all the administration duties so we can focus on our tasks. So that's like all from the general news, and now we're moving to something really, really interesting. Is the current state of our letterpress project. So as I said, we've been working on letterpress this whole summer, testing, like we're currently testing bases, because this is a large format, so we need a really large base for the flatbed. And that's going nice. We're also testing plates. We found a plate that we would like to use. We organized the plate production as well. And one of the things that we know for now is that we're switching, at least for the next couple of books, to Honeymoon Paper. I think it's Honeymoon Biblia. Anyway, it's a mold-made paper, 100% cotton, 150 grams weight. It's gorgeous. I'm sure you've at least seen it somewhere being used on letterpress books, and it's definitely our top contender, at least when it comes to quality. What else? Oh yeah, since we're switching to letterpress, it will be a bit unfeasible to create a full prototype of the book as we did before, because it was easier when you're doing offset. So what we'll do is basically we'll be doing what the rest of the industry is doing, and that is creating a mock-up and a bit of a prototypes test of everything, and composing it as a, this is how the book will look like. But we'll also try, before starting pre-orders, we'll try to print a few sheets, just so we can show how the paper behaves and how the ink behaves and what kind of typography we picked and whatnot. But the most important news about letterpress is actually that since the tests have been going quite successfully, and we are kind of ahead of schedule because we sacrificed summer, is that Sherlock Holmes short story collection is going to be printed letterpress as well. So we don't have to wait for Catch-22 to see our letterpress. It will actually be for Sherlock as well. One of the reasons is, besides that the tests are going well, is that Sherlock Holmes is something that we love as a story, but there are multiple stories. So if we printed this one offset, and then later like novels with printed letterpress, it would be a shame. So by doing this, we can later visit novels or other short story collections and keep it all in kind of same visual concept. So those books are not like all over the place, but when you put them next to each other, they make sense. They look like from the same series, and they're all printed letterpress, which is quite important. So for this one, we also did some tests for illustrations. And before I go into that, I just like to say that the creative concept for Sherlock Holmes is quite different than our other creative concepts. We always do something different, but this time, since it's a short story collection, we decided to create illustration for each story. But we wanted to create something that will be inspired by Sherlock Holmes, by deduction, by detective work. So we contacted an extremely talented illustrator called Manuel Schemberas, whose style we figured like it would work really well. And what he made, we tried to test like print in offset on our Honeymoon paper, so we can see how it turns out on a cotton paper. So without further ado, this is how we got it delivered, the test from the print shop. So yeah, if you can come in here. So this is the Honeymoon paper that we've been talking about. As you can see, it's the cotton paper. I don't know how much you can see, but it even has a watermark somewhere. So this is like the first, no, this is not the first, this is I think the second and the third illustration. It's the Red-Headed League story. So what we wanted to do here is, wait, just put it so there's more light. So what we wanted to do with this one is kind of create a concept where the whole illustration, the whole story is condensed into one illustration, which is something like Where's Waldo? Where you have to look for the clues in the story, and all major events of the story are displayed, like the Red-Headed League office, the pawn shop, the cellar where the photo studio was. I don't know if you're familiar with the story. The whole point is like to have this blueprint scheme where you see the story, and we try to, of course, printing it double-sided just so we can see if everything behaves well. And now we have to, add the text and see how it all fits together. But right now the illustrations turned out quite well. I will share this illustration later on our social media or on Facebook, so you can see all the details. But we still have a lot of things to add here, as in regards like what the covers will look like and everything, but we will shortly try to announce it. And we planned this for the pre-orders to happen in October, but we'll know more as this month goes by, because we also expect Frankenstein to ship by the end of this month. Don't hold it against me, but maybe some delays, but for now everything seems like going according to plan. The books are soon. We're just waiting for the end papers. The end papers are going in, binding, and I think the cases are already done.
Yeah, shout out to Goga.
Shout out to Goga. Cases are already done, so it's pretty much ready to ship. And we are trying to reduce this amount of like wait time between pre-orders and orders as much as we can. We even like our dream that sometime in the future we will be able to produce the whole book up in advance, so there are no pre-orders, but that might take a few years to get to that place, because there's a lot of things going on right now. So that's for our letterpress in Sherlock.
Sorry, Rod asked a good question. Is numbered and lettered gonna be on letterpress?
Yes, both editions. Like our plan is that all our future editions will be done on via letterpress. Will we use the same paper, or will we have two different papers between editions? I'm not sure, even between titles. But for now, like for Sherlock, the plan is to use the same paper. But like for lettered edition, we might use a 2-color tone. For numbered edition, we might use 1-color tone. We're still experimenting with that, but the plan is to stick to letterpress unless it's illustration. So of course, there will be letterpress illustrations in the future when we find a good book that it fits. But for now, the only thing that will print offset is the illustrations in the book. So yeah, and even like, well, we're getting right now to that, but even when we introduce a library edition, which we talked about, which would be like I don't know, run of maybe 500 books, the plan is to also make it letterpress. What can I say? We love letterpress. We were so we were really really excited for it, and it took a while to get there. But now we just like want to do everything letterpress. So please tell me if there are like questions that people ask. So so for the next editions, this is also related to Sherlock. We've decided to switch back to 260 copies because Frankenstein was in high demand, but and it's, I think after all the resellers get their hands on it, I think it might be approaching to sold out. But we concluded that we will stick to 260 all the way until we can see that actually there is more demand than before, because when you have a sit in stock, it's basically a huge weight on the company. But the plan is if we see the demand rising, we will, of course, raise stock, and eventually when we see that there is enough people interested in our books, we will add the library edition. But currently, as much as we would like to, we have to think about what's financially responsible to do. We also had a lot of discussions on pre-orders, and they will continue to work as they did so far. So you will have private pre-orders, and we will allow 3 days for everyone to pre-order. But we wanted to do something a bit special for people who actually like show up on private pre-orders and whatnot. So we will probably add some kind of a small discount to everyone who orders during the private pre-orders, because those people are always first to show up, and they support our work, and they collect our books and collect their number or letter. So I think it's fair that we show some kind of gratitude towards that. And of course, shipping remains free, so that stays the same. As for Catch-22, we started working on illustrations. We also picked like pretty much most of the materials, but we're still working on something. And as soon as we have something to share, we will also present it. The planned date stays the same, so sometime in January we plan to launch it. Also, I'm gonna do something a bit unconventional, and that is that we have not yet secured rights for like all the books on our roadmap. We're still undecided on a couple of books. I can tell that we're working on picking something from fantasy and horror genre. But what we have started negotiating, and it's still not secured, so we're still in negotiations, but we want to do the 2001 A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke, and we have also already requested the license for it. So I'm announcing it sooner because we had a whole thing with Dorian. So I'm not saying that we will get the rights. We still have to negotiate it. But the plan is that that's like on top of our wish list, because we have a pretty cool concept for it, and we would like to make it happen. Well, what else is new? Oh yeah, giveaways. So, as probably some of you know, in 2020?
2020, yeah.
In 2020, we had a lot of earthquakes, 2 major ones in Croatia. Zagreb was hit hard both times. First time actually was the worst. And when that happened, it caused, of course, a lot of delays in production. Some of you know how long it took us to produce Bandersnatch edition. But what also happened that some of our books that were in stock got damaged, and we like put them aside, and they just stood there. But we always felt wrong that that these books, well, like they maybe have a little dent or scratch. Otherwise, they're completely perfect, but they won't find a home, and we won't sell them because it's a damaged book. So we thought of doing the following. We have 3 hide editions that, so you can see that the earthquake mark here, I don't know if you can see it, the dent here. So it's like really minor. And what we made out of these is basically, this is Jekyll and Hyde Earthquake Edition. Can you see?
Yeah.
So we have 3 of these. We would like to offer them for a giveaway. We were thinking of maybe we can do something like a contest or creative, but then we decided, no, probably it's most fair if we just did lottery. So if you're interested, just send us an email at hello@amarantinbooks.com, and just be sure to put subject like Earthquake Edition, or just put Earthquake Edition so we can so it doesn't get lost. And these 3 bad boys will be picked through some kind of lottery, and we will keep the sign-ups open for what, a week? We said a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will have a week, then the sign-ups will close, and then we'll need a day or 2 to put up the lottery and whatnot. But the winners will get the book, and it will be shipped for free anywhere in the world. So yeah, that's for the giveaways. These 3 bad boys need some love. So what else is new? What else is new? Oh yeah, we said we'll do a short Q&A, or long if there is enough interest. So if you have any questions, I've switched now to the you send the sign up to our official email address, so you can find it on our website. It's hello@amarantinbooks.com. So that's our email for, we all see it in the company, so it won't be missed. And now I have opened the comments, so anything you write from now on, I will probably be able to see. So if you have any questions, and happy that people are interested. We're already receiving requests. Happy that people want to provide a home for these damaged babies. But yeah, if you have questions, now it's time to ask them. But still, nothing happens. So maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm missing it. Do you see any questions? Clark's, yeah, we would like to. We would like to actually print more work. More, Jesus, now a lot of questions. But I'll answer this one. What is the secret of the universe? It's 42. Everyone knows that. Come on. Yeah, we would like to do more work for Clark. He's been one of my favorite authors while growing up. So all of his stories resonate with me, and I think if we do the Space Odyssey, we will be returning to Clark's opus on a quite regular basis. But of course, we won't be pigeonholed anywhere. But I think anything from Clark could be really interesting. Oh my God, so many questions. What is the proper pronunciation of amaranthine? It's amaranthine. At least I think it is. You know what? There's actually, I think, wait, maybe I'm wrong. I'll just check it. I think I put the pronunciation on the bottom of the website. No, I just separated the words, but the proper, I think, is amaranthine, because it means of the flower amaranth. So if it's the flower amaranth, I guess it's just amaranthine. Correct me if I'm wrong. How do you come up with the craziest features in special edition publishing title? Very cool. Thank you. I would like to know as well. It just kind of pops in my head, but it could be because I thought about it a lot of times, and then I just forget about it. I think about a story and then I forget about it, and it just pops in my head. I think it's just connecting dots. You see something cool, then you see something else that is cool, and something happens in your head and just connect. But sometimes for Dracula, it was okay, it's Dracula. What can I do with blood that's interesting? Uh, but Glow in the Dark was when I read, the sunlight didn't kill him; it just made him weaker. So like, oh, he's reacting to light. Well, there's ink that reacts to light, and so just kind of happens. But for Dorian, it was obvious. I was actually surprised no one made Dorian portrait. I was googling like a madman, trying to find someone because to me it was like obviously someone has made a portrait, the portrait of Dorian Gray, but turns out it didn't. So let me just take a leap and do Naked Lunch by Burroughs. Well, that's interesting. I have to look. I'm not sure I know that one, but I have to look it up. But I think we'll get a really good set of recommendations for books in these comments. Thoughts on publishing standalone illustration and or broadside letterpress? Absolutely. Well, the main thing with publishing those separately, like illustrations or the thing is that we have to. The thing is that, for example, we offer our shipping for free, so we can soak up the cost for a book because we calculate it in. But for anything like smaller that's like our portfolio or anything would be quite expensive to ship, and we would have to charge it, and we'd like to stick to our free shipping policy. So we're looking for ways how to ship those, maybe by a different service or anything, but we're usually limited by sending things because we want to stick to our free shipping policy, but also, adding those to web shop and whatnot, it's also complicated. But yeah, at some point, we'll probably do things like that as well. So we just, similar to letterpress, you just have to give us a little bit of time until we get there. Someone asked, is there any way to help people in Croatia? Thank you, but it's quite better now because it's been 2 years. So there's still areas that are hit more than the others, but it's been 2 years now, so it's kind of like it's a lot better now. And it basically forces us to fix our roofs and chimneys. So there has been a lot of work going on. Someone who with a phobia of blood, that was great. I'm very pleased that we don't repeat ideas, so you can be sure we won't do it again. Are you going to pick up that Guitar Singers a Little limited edition song? I would, but it has been so long since I played, and I only learned a little, so it would probably people would unfollow on Ranting Books and block me or something. So let's not damage anyone's hearing. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Yeah, like that one. We'll have to add it to the list. I made a joke about your Dracula would probably awaken with blood, and the thing about the title, I was amazed. Thank you. But you actually have a video where we actually made a video of us drawing blood. So if you want to see that, it's on our YouTube channel. But we had a registered nurse, so it wasn't like something that me and the illustrator did. It was just actually a registered nurse who did the job. So let me scroll a bit to see what questions I have missed. And I can only see 5 comments. There's no way to scroll, which is bad. If I missed any one question, please post again because I'm not sure how to. Maybe if I switch to a memorandum profile. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think I corrected. So did I miss the sale date on Sherlock? We don't have an exact date, but it will happen. We plan to make it happen sometime in October after we did a couple of successful sheets of letterpress, after we have picked the cover materials and made mock-ups, and we will probably, we already talked with Freya from Paper Walls to make the Um, Maybe stick with the usual Stan magazine titling, like The Adventure of something. So The Adventure of Favorite Stories, or something along those lines, at least to keep it thematic. But yeah, we haven't said it like definitely that was the title. Any hints on Sherlock design? Not yet. We're still toying with the materials for the covers. There are kind of a couple of details that we'll use, which I won't say yet because we have to confirm it. But their illustrations are there. All 12 illustrations are done, and I'll start sharing them via social networks soon. Starting with this one, maybe starting with the first one. I don't know, but at least you'll get to see the illustrations. Will the Sherlock Holmes come with a pipe and deerstalker? Well, maybe. Who knows? Are the titles you choose based on personal preference or customer wishes? Both. At first, they were based on my wishes, but now we kind of like to look into what people mention, because sometimes we just forget about certain titles until someone mentions them. But also, we don't chase a title. If there's a good idea, like if there's something really impressive that we can do, then we go after the idea. Like, for example, for Sherlock Holmes, I loved the idea of having a small illustration that contains all the possible scenes in one story. And that is how we ended up doing it, because I just like the concept where you can. Okay, I'll say it. We'll probably include some kind of a magnifying glass. I had to say it. Yeah, don't look at me like that. We'll probably do some kind of magnifying glass which will allow you to, take a closer look at the illustration. Me is shaking my head. She's disappointed.
I'm so disappointed.
But I love to share it here. So yeah, it will feature some kind of. We're looking into way how to make a magnifying glass part of the story, so you can actually take a real closer look into the illustration. However, your plans, I actually don't know, because I have an app that tells me when I have to water and fertilize, but I think it's once a week. It's growing rather well. I actually have to replant it because it's getting the air roots. So it's a huge chunky big boy. But flowers for allergen and all, I would do it, but I would have to cry so much again going through that book. But it would be an interesting experiment to do. It would be like, there's a lot of stuff to do there. I love that book. It made me, when you read something and you finish the book and you either cry, yeah, that's me. Dragonlance Chronicles, yes, that I have to look. I think I read. I have to check, but I think I read it. It rings a bell. Video entries of the new team members soon. Well, yes, we will do something like that. If they're interested. I can't force people to do that. But actually, they're still not in because they quit their jobs, so they have to do
The notice.
The notice, yeah. So they have to work still. The King of Elfland's Daughter. I don't know that one, but I'll look it up. I suggest Frozen Hell, but hey, that's just me. Okay, we'll look at it. Library at Mount Char. Oof. That's one of my favorite books, actually, and I read it on a fluke. A friend suggested that book to me, and I think it's still one of the best books I ever read. Actually, every couple of months, I Google books like Library at Mount Char. So if anyone has any books that are like Library at Mount Char, please let me know. Dennis Lee Flat Earth series, or Earthsea. We'll look it up. I have to look it up. Have you considered poetry? Yeah, we can. Actually, there was a point somewhere, I think after Jekyll and Hyde or after Dracula, that we considered the Divine Comedy. But I was torn between, okay, you have to use the translation, or you have to use the original text. So it just kind of, I I think that was the time when I remembered. I thought of idea for Dracula, so I just kind of lost it. But definitely poetry is something that can happen in the future. It's actually pretty cool to do poetry on letterpress. So yeah. Damn, I missed a bunch. Actually, you can watch it. The live will stay, so you can watch it. We all love your ideas. Thank you. And Dear Stalker's hat to reading Sherlock. Yeah, well, Mia, you heard it, man. So let's see new questions. I think that's all. Jurassic Park. That would be actually cool. But it Folio Society did that, or they didn't do it letterpress. I think they just did it offset. Dragonlance is almost impossible because Wizard. What? Just let it move. Because Wizard of the Coast doesn't sub-license the rights. Oh, okay. You're not good at keeping. I'm not good at keeping secrets.
You're terrible at keeping
secrets. About it. That's it. That is why I usually don't do these things because I cannot control myself. I just want to talk about the books, so you know, I kind of myself to blame. Have you ever considered publishing a brand new and unpublished novel? No, but this is because the idea of Amaranthine is that it has to be something that has already been proven as a, maybe not even as a classic, but something that, you know, it's worthy. Because we always joke that Amaranthine is something that even we have to do great work to a worthy work for Amaranthine. So for now, novels are like, we're always focusing on books that are successful or cult classics or whatnot, you know. World War Z. Actually, that would be cool. That would be really interesting. We can actually do it like, no, I'm not gonna spoil my secrets. Almost had me there. Do you want one email for the giveaway per person? Yes, because just send an email from the, like if you want, just like if you have family members that want to sign up, that's completely fine. You just have to send an email. The original text of Divine Comedy. Well, I don't know if you. I think it would be pretty cool. I wouldn't be able to check the text, but it would be cool. What else is new? Google Z. I like to have an Italian English translation side by side. That would be pretty cool. It'd be some kind of like a mirror text. Yeah, I like that idea. Thank you. Don Quixote, also pretty possible that at one point we'll have to do it. Franz Kafka, yes, there are a couple of books that I love that I hated during high school, but I love now. So that's also. The Dragon Waiting. I haven't read that one. I'll have to. No, my to read list is growing really large now. Chronicles of Prydain. Also, we'll look it up. I promise. And I think those are all questions that we have. Beloved, is that the name of the novel or? So I think that's all the questions we had. So I think it's time to say goodbye. So if you keep writing questions and if there are any kind of additional questions, I'll answer them in the comments. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you like this slide, even though it's a bit unusual than our usual ones. I hope you like the concept for Sherlock. We'll share more soon as we have some kind of like, as soon as we make a decision, because we have materials ready, we just have to like make a decision and we like to sleep on that. So that would be all. Send emails for earthquakes and see you sometime in the future. Bye.